Hello everyone, it's TSB Coca, the stuttering poet, aka Coca. How are you guys doing today? You're doing great, that's great. So as you see from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about my stuttering because, there is a part of my name. For people who know me in poetry, they know me as a stuttering poet. Some people, very few select people call me Stutter. Some people call me TSB. People call me Coca. I got a lot of names. But because of that very, very interesting name, I get a lot of questions. And so I listed about 6 of the main questions that I get. Now, I'm sure y'all are probably wondering too. Y'all maybe just didn't want to ask or didn't want to seem rude or maybe ask somebody else, right? Or you asked me before, but you just want to hear me get the explanation again. Yes, this is a more in-depth video about my stuttering and my speech impediment. So I have, like I said, 6 points here. I wrote it down in this book. So point 1 is when I started. So I actually, fun fact, I did not always stutter. I had a different speech impediment where it's like I couldn't pronounce certain words, and a lot of kids have it. It's pretty common. So like instead of kitties, I'll say titties. You know what I'm saying? Those are a few of the words too, but that's like the main one that I remember because my cousin always used to bring it up. That was up until I was like 6. So my kindergarten teacher, Miss Wessel, shout out to Miss Wessel, she did say that, like, it's pretty normal and it should go away. And then, like I said, I started stuttering when I was 6. So I don't really remember my other speech impediment. I just mainly remember me stuttering, right? So yeah, I started stuttering. I always had a speech impediment, but I started stuttering specifically when I was 6. From there, the experience with me stuttering, like, of course I would get picked on and stuff, and I wrote a whole poem about this called Broken Record, and I also have a visual out for that as well. Make sure to check that out, y'all. Yeah. Broken Record, I wrote a poem about my experience with stuttering. Like, people would pick on me and stuff. Like, it's like I definitely fought people before for picking on me for my stuttering, but because I always, like, it's like a bittersweet thing. Me being a girl, I will say my experience may be a little bit different than boys with stuttering, because, like, I'm a girl, I don't approach boys, you know what I'm saying? And some boys who did like me or did notice that I stuttered, they thought it was cute. So I will say my experience is definitely different than other people. So yeah, I did get picked on about it, and I just stick up for myself. And at some point, I just stopped really caring. Like, I'm not about to keep on fighting these people because, like, I wasn't insecure about it anymore. I really didn't care. And it was mainly like when I was younger, like in elementary school. In middle school, I didn't get picked on it that much about it, but I would stick up for myself, like the rare moments that I did. I never really got to fighting over my stuttering, besides one time where I punched this boy in the face. That was the one time I got into a physical altercation. He didn't hit me back, but, like, if he would have hit me back, like, I couldn't have been mad because I did fucking stand up and punch him in the face. But it was rightfully so. That's another story for another day. Plus, like, we're cool. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Michael. We're cool now. I've had a balance of, people finding it cute, but also me, having to stick up for myself, whether that be verbally or physically, for people, trying to come at me for something that I cannot control. Like, dang, calm down, stop, that's serious. But also, a good thing with my stuttering is that I really did build good friends. You know what I'm saying? Like I have not a big group of solid friends, but the ones who specifically knew me through me, it's obvious that I stutter. Those who know me from that period, which is about, like, it's a cool amount of people. I mainly talked to 3 of them, but, like, I know that they're really my friends, I know that they're really my friends. I know that they really love me. I know that they really respect me, because with me stuttering, some people are impatient. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't want to talk to me. Some people, and me, I'm a talker. Like, me stuttering has never stopped me from talking. I'm a yapper. I'm a certified yapper. I'm in my room in front of a tablet right now talking and spent for almost 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never not talked. Some people who stutter do not talk, and I see that more in boys. Not saying that girls don't, but I personally have seen it more in boys. But those who stutter don't talk, and, like, that's also why I am how I am, because I'm not about to just not talk. Like, what? Like, if you don't want to hear me listen, then we don't have to be cool. If you don't have the patience and respect to just let me get my little moment out. You know what I'm saying? But still engage in conversation with me. If you can't simply do that, then I don't want to be your friend. So that's one thing that's, like, it has, ironically enough, made me build solid relationships. And I did do speech therapy. I feel like all throughout elementary school, but it didn't really help me. Like, I gotta ask my mom, because I don't really remember that much of it. But I do remember when I was going to Pastorius in Germantown when I was living in Philly, I had a speech therapist there. It was me and this other boy, but he was like bad, and he always his speech impediment was like he couldn't pronounce certain words. And I guess like he was a bit older than me, so she worked with him more from what I remember. But she worked with him more just from what I remember. Like it would be majority doing his stuff, and then she'll do my stuff like the last few minutes. But maybe I'm misremembering. Like I said, I barely even really remember it. But I do remember it was a slightly older boy who was bad, and his speech impediment was different than mine, and she would mainly focus on him. She had like candy and stuff there. And then I moved to Westmoreland County, Virginia, and I had a speech therapist there. She had me read a book. One, I can read when I'm reading. I really don't stutter as much, only on words that I've never seen spelled out before. You know, like I know the word onomatopoeia, but if I see it spelled out, which I rarely do, my brain will start like freaking up. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really look at the word onomatopoeia spelled out, and it's kind of like a weird word. And even though I know what to say, my brain just starts malfunctioning. Like stuff like that happens. But overall, I can read without stuttering, like really for the most part. She had me read, but she was like on her phone. It was like a simple A to Z book. Like I'm 10 years old at this point. It's a simple like A to Z book, and I'm like, I didn't really like her. And then they had me in this reading class. It's like you would break out from like the other students and read. They only had me in there because I stuttered. I knew how to read. Them other kids being that little being taken out for 25-30 minutes class experience. No offense, but those kids really could not read. I'm like, we're 10 years old. The words say like because, and you don't know what that say. I don't know. I'm not shaming nobody who can't read at the age of 10, but I was like, I could read. I just stutter. I'm like, I'm not even supposed to be in this class. But because the lady was not good, now I did complain about it. I was being honest with her. She was not good. They just put me in there. Then these two interns had came in. I think they were from VCU, if I'm not mistaken. I think there were two interns from VCU. And so like they had came in like later in the school year. And so I stopped doing their little reading class, thank God. And I was with them. And they actually, out of my whole experience ever doing speech therapy, them two were actually the only two that I felt like were really interested and really cared. You know, they asked me about my background and my history with stuttering. Am I the only one? Did my parents stutter? Did my grandparents stutter? Do my siblings stutter? Like they was really breaking it down. And then they broke down, okay, so what words do you stutter on more? And they made me comfortable. And funny enough, when I'm comfortable with people is when I stutter more, you know, because I know how to mask myself as well with my stuttering, but I'll talk about that later. So like they really broke it down and really even had me understand that, okay, like, you know, there are certain words I stutter on more, or you know, I may trip up, and it's not, for me, it was never confidence. You know what I'm saying? It's not even from my lack of confidence. It's just how my brain is. Because some people associate stuttering with lack of confidence. Like I said, I've always been a yapper. You know, I may have had like insecurities, but I feel like everybody, whether you stutter or not, has insecurities. And once I got over my stuttering insecurity, it was about my physical. And I've been confident since I was like 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've still been stuttering. So it's a misconception that people who stutter are not confident, or people who stutter are lying, or people who stutter like are slow. I've seen that as well. It's just not true. Like we just got something going on in our brain. Like I know what I'm about to say. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm trying to say. I just got something going on right now. Like, Jesus. It's actually a form of Tourette's, BT, though. A lot of people did not know that, but stuttering is a form of Tourette's. Why I don't stutter as much? Overall, do I feel like speech therapy helped me? No. Do I appreciate those two interns? Yes, I did. But then I ended up moving to Richmond, and my mom, and I was going to Swansboro. When I was in Westmoreland County, I was going to Copel. I went to Richmond. I was going to Swansboro. I moved there in like the spring. I was like new. I was there like the last 3-4 months of school. My mom had asked me if I wanted to enroll in speech therapy there, and I said no. I said, listen, honestly, I don't even really care that much. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll outgrow it. I'll figure out what works for me, but I'm sick of going to these speech therapists. I like those two ladies, and that was nice. But I've been doing speech therapy since I was like 6. Now I'm 10, and I'm just now at the end of the school year getting a good experience. No, I'm over it. In middle school, I didn't do speech therapy. In high school, I didn't do speech therapy. My speech therapy was my poetry. But the more that I started to do poetry, and figure out a cadence to speak in. Because I know how to mask. Like I said a few moments ago, I stutter more around people who I know because I'm not masking it. Now, through me doing poetry and me figuring out a cadence and me figuring out, because of the speech therapy, I will say this is true, me figuring out more words that I stutter on, observing when I stutter more, observing in certain situations if I stutter more, ways to speak to prevent me from stuttering, feeling when I'm about to stutter, and thinking to myself in that very, very moment, like a lot goes on in my brain when I'm just simply speaking, right? When I feel that I'm about to stutter, because you can feel it in your chest, you can feel it in your body, thinking that very moment, okay, how can I say this word in a different way so I don't stutter while I'm talking to this person right now? I'm literally thinking about all that while I'm also thinking about the current conversation that I'm having, you know? So a lot of people don't know that a lot goes through my brain. So it's like when they say, oh, you don't stutter, oh, da 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 da, it's like I don't, because I'm masking. And when I'm around people who I'm comfortable with, I stutter more, and they don't notice it as much because they've been talking to me for so long. Like me stuttering, it just like mutes out for them. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't even notice. You like the people that I've known, they say, you know, I be forgetting that you stutter until you like stutter real bad or one word or something. You know what I'm saying? Which is like doesn't really happen too often. That's why I don't stutter as much anymore, because I was always confident. I always talk. That's why I think people who stutter should always talk. Find friends who are going to be patient with you and respect you and make you feel comfortable. You know, always talk to yourself. I talk to myself all the time. I'm talking to myself right now. You know what I'm saying? And figure out what works for you. You know, figure out a cadence. Figure out what words you stutter on more. Figure out why you stutter, because it's different reasons. Because I stutter just due to genetic, but some people have brain trauma. So just I can put that out there as well. I don't stutter from like any trauma, from any brain trauma. It's just like a genetic thing. So it may be different for those who do stutter due to trauma. But, you know, hopefully these tips that I'm saying do work if you are a fellow stutterer. Yeah, poetry, like I said, has always have been my speech therapy. That's also why I fell in love with it, because the more that I was able to do poetry and memorize them and say them without stuttering, the more I was able to figure out, okay, I'm not stuttering because when I was practicing saying these 2 lines, I was stuttering the whole time, but I figured out a different way to say it. That's also what made me realize that when I say things in a certain cadence, I'm able to get it out more fluently. And I had this friend who really, like, I guess he just paid attention to how I would talk. And I met him later on, like when my stutter, like you couldn't really tell unless you really knew me. Yeah, he was just like, when you talk in like a certain cadence, you know? And I was like, yeah, it's funny you said that. The job is because I'd be masking, you know? And then me and him got more close, I got more comfortable. So I'm like, he's seeing me stutter more, you know? He's like, the difference is very interesting. And so like now that I've gotten better with speaking, losing my stutter has been like a bittersweet thing. It's like okay, like I don't stutter as much anymore, like because it really does make you get out of breath, like honestly, and it's really annoying. But you know, I'm not stuttering as more, and I'm able to speak like more, and I'm able to figure out what certain words that make me stutter, certain situations that I stutter in, figuring out how to say this word a different way to make it easier to convey, if you know what I'm trying to say. So it's like a bittersweet thing, because like then it's like I get the questions like, oh well, you don't stutter, oh well, you know, I'm going to speak on this next, why don't you change your name? It's like, it's just so, it's really a part of me, and one of the main reasons why I kept doing poetry. And it's just such a unique experience that a lot of people do not have growing up stuttering, you know, growing up with an impediment and really knowing and understanding how that feels. So like the fact that it's kind of like I'm still, you know, in part of the stuttering community, but the fact that it's like I don't stutter as much is like, it's good to see my growth, but it's also because it's a piece of me, you know. So it's bittersweet. It is. Why I won't change my name, because like I said, it's a really, really important part of me, and the stuttering poet is even the reason why I start rapping. Is the name I give myself when I started doing poetry, when I started writing more seriously, period. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like it's just really important. And one of my main messages, me if I become an image of anything, like looking at Coca represents this, looking at TSP represents this, I wanted to represent, honestly, the speech impediment community. Because I really want people to be comfortable talking. You know, of course, I'm Black and I care about my people, so there's other things that I want to do as well. But if I'm known for anything, if it's stamped, when you look at me, it makes you think of this topic right here. I do want it to be the speech impediment community, not just stuttering, but people who have lisp, people who, it's a word for it, but I forgot the word. People who pronounce words a certain way. You know, some people who kind of, when they talk, they sound like a baby, like certain words, like a certain whatever, that, because those all fits underneath the umbrella of a speech impediment. You know, I just want people to be comfortable, and I want people to not feel like, you know, they, like, their opinion isn't respected or their voices isn't respected, especially as a kid, because like that can really mess up your confidence. And I'm happy that I've gained a sense of confidence with my stutter at a young age, and I gained a sense of physical self-confidence as an adult, you know, because that me having confidence even while I'm currently stuttering, I feel like has built me up even more. So maybe I guess it is a little bit of confidence, but it's more so accepting my stuttering and me proceeding with that, just accepting it and moving on. Yeah, I guess it is a thing of confidence as well, but it's also a neurological condition. Yeah, so that's me and my history of stuttering. You know, how it was growing up, my experience in school, my experience as an adult, how I feel about it. If you want to read some more poems about my stuttering, like Broken Record that I brought up earlier, or this poem I made called Digestible, which speaks about me learning how to speak in a certain way, and me really pushing to memorize my poems without stuttering. That poem is speaking about the process of me just making my words digestible. Honestly, making my words, making how I sound, what I say, my stuttering digestible. If you want to read that poem, those poems, definitely get my book, A Poet's Closet LLC. The website's back up. It was down for a little bit because I had to do some maintenance to it, but yeah, I'm just gonna get back up. $25. I will put the link in the bio. I'll show you a little picture of the book. Well, actually, show you a picture of the book, and you can see on the website as well. But yeah, I'm about to do my press-ons. What time is it? Get ready for some Zeus and Not as TV. I do watch Ratchet TV. What can I say? I grew up watching Jerry Springer and Bad Girls Club and Jersey Shore, like, and Maury. Like, I've always watched Ratchet TV. You know what I'm saying? So yes, do my nails, watch some of that, and yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the flip by the freaking side.